If you've been scrolling through endless monitor lists, watching video after video of specs that look almost identical, and still feel stuck about which screen actually gives you the edge you need, this review is here to cut through the noise. I've spent the last few weeks setting up a 32-inch 4K OLED panel next to a 27-inch IPS board, testing the same games, movies, and design apps side by side, and I'm going to walk you through what really matters when you're deciding whether the ASUS ROG Swift PG32U CDMR with its Aura light bar is worth the price tag. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the core dilemma most buyers face. You want a monitor that can keep up with 240Hz competitive shooters, but you also crave the color fidelity needed for HDR movies and content creation. The PG32U CDMR tries to be a Swiss Army knife for that exact sweet spot, but the question is whether it actually delivers a cohesive experience or ends up being a compromise in too many places. When you sit down to game, edit footage, or just binge a series, the monitor's OLED panel is the first thing you notice, because it literally turns the whole screen on and off at the pixel level, giving you perfect blacks and a contrast that LCDs simply can't match. The 32-inch size is a sweet spot for many desk setups. It's large enough to make 4K feel spacious without forcing you to constantly move your head, yet it still fits on a standard gaming desk with a decent amount of space left for peripherals. If you have a mid-tower PC with a decent GPU, you'll actually be able to push most modern titles close to the 240Hz ceiling at 1440p, though staying at native 4K while hitting that refresh rate is still a stretch unless you have a top-tier RTX 4090 or comparable card. That's the first practical trade-off. The monitor shines brightest when you're willing to dial the resolution down a notch for the ultra-smooth frame rate, or you're ready to invest heavily in GPU horsepower. What makes this model stand out in real-world use is the combination of OLED technology with the Neo proximity sensor. The sensor detects when you're sitting close to the screen and automatically ramps up brightness, while dimming when you step back. In my testing, watching a dark sci-fi film from the couch, the sensor kept the image bright enough to see details without washing out the blacks, and when I switched to a fast-paced FPS, the sensor responded instantly, keeping the image crisp without any noticeable lag. For people who frequently switch between work and play, that adaptive brightness feels less like a gimmick and more like a genuine convenience. The Aura light bar that comes with the monitor is another point that gets a lot of buzz. It's asymmetrical, runs 3 distinct lighting modes, and syncs with the on-screen content via ASUS Aura Sync software. In a dark room, the light bar creates an ambient glow that reduces eye strain by giving your peripheral vision a gentle reference point, which can be a subtle but real benefit during long gaming sessions. However, if you're a minimalist or you already have a room already lit by smart bulbs, you might find the bar an unnecessary extra. It's also worth noting that the bar's magnetic buckle makes it easy to detach, so you can quickly remove it if you need more desk space for a drawing tablet or dual monitor setup. Now, let's get into who should actually consider buying this. If you're a competitive gamer who values ultra-low input lag, fast refresh, and can tolerate the occasional need to drop to 1440p for the highest frame rates, the 0.03 milliseconds response time and GSYNC compatibility are a big win. The monitor's true 10-bit color and 99% DCI-P3 coverage also make it a solid choice for creators who need accurate color grading for video or photo work, especially when paired with the optional uniform brightness setting that evens out any OLED panel variances across the screen. The built-in OLED Care Pro functions, like the pixel refresh and automatic compensation, help mitigate the risk of burn-in, which is a legitimate concern for anyone planning to leave static UI elements on screen for extended periods. On the flip side, if you're primarily a console gamer or you mostly use your PC for office work, you might not need a 240Hz OLED panel. A more modest 144Hz IPS monitor would likely cover your needs at a fraction of the price, and you'd avoid the higher power draw and potential longevity concerns that come with OLED. Similarly, if you have a smaller desk or you're prone to moving your monitor around often, the 32-inch footprint and the weight of the panel, plus the added light bar, could feel cumbersome. The monitor also lacks a built-in USB-C power delivery, which means you'll still need a separate power brick and cable management for your peripherals. One practical weakness I discovered relates to HDR performance. While the display is VISA Display HDR 400 certified and can achieve true black levels, the peak brightness tops out.